All right. I can't remember if we didn't talk on the podcast, but offline. Oh, gross. That's work words.
Offline.
Um,
I don't know.
did we tell the story about the TVs? Did we get all the way through that?
Ooh, we did not.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So if this is your first one, Jess's boyfriend bought giant ass TVs for the kids without asking.
Well, okay. Let's back it up.
And then there was a fight.
Mm-hmm. Big fight. Very big fight about it. Okay, so before Christmas, like around mid-November, my boyfriend came over with my kids, and his kids were there. And my girls were like, "Oh, Mom, we want a TV for Christmas. We're going to ask Santa for a TV for Christmas." I'm like, "Oh, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea." And boyfriend says, "Well, why don't I buy that for them?" And I'm like, "No, that's okay. I would much rather have Santa buy that or get that for them." And my daughters were like, "Yeah, you can totally buy that for us because then we can ask for something different from Santa." And I'm like, "Nope, nope, let's just have Santa get that for you." And again, my boyfriend continues to say, "I'll do it, I'll do it." And I said, "No." Okay. Couple weeks go by. Yet again, we're all together, and my girls said, Jason, not Dad, Jason, will you buy us TVs?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course." And during the last couple weeks, he's been trying to convince me. And I said, "If you buy them any TV, it has to be small. I don't want a big TV in their rooms. Like, I don't even want a TV in their rooms, but if they're gonna get one, I want a smaller size TV." Well, I then proceeded to tell boyfriend, "Yes, you can buy the girls a TV." And it was the day after Thanksgiving, so it's Black Friday, and he got 45-inch TVs for both girls. And then he proceeds to call me on the day after Thanksgiving while I'm putting up Christmas tree shit. And he's like, "Hey, I need to drop something off at your house, but make sure the girls aren't around." I'm like, "Okay." So he drops these huge, big fucking TVs at my house. He's telling me to hide them. And I'm like, "What?" Now, and I did not know he bought 45-inch TVs. And so I see how big these TVs are, and now he's asking me to hide them. And I'm like, so while he was here, I was comprehending everything in my brain, and I was trying to do Christmas decorations, and he leaves. And as I'm doing Christmas decorations, my brain starts like getting very frustrated. Like, these are too big. I already told you I didn't want these TVs. I already told you I didn't want you to buy them, but you're the one who convinced them. And now I'm the one who has to deal with these big fucking TVs in my house. I don't want these in my house anymore. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he's not listening again." This is a typical thing. And it got bigger and bigger in my head. And a couple nights went by because I believe that you don't talk when you're in anger. You need to let the emotions settle so that you can have better intentions set in your conversations. And so I let it settle. I let my anger calm down. So then when I did talk to him about it, he was like, "No big deal. This is not that big of a deal. They're only 45 inches. I'm like, "Only? That is not only." And like literally his definition of small was 45 inches.
Sure, for an adult with adult money, yes.
Exactly.
Totally get it.
His perspective.
Yeah.
But that was like the straw that broke the camel's back with us too, because there were other things that were like leading up to this anger that I had. So then I had a serious talk. I was like, "Okay, we're going to lay this all out. Here's all the things that I'm very extremely frustrated with. And yeah, we got mad at each other. And then about a week after us taking a little bit of a break, because I told him, I said, I'm dropping the TVs off at your house. I don't want them. You can deal with them. I don't want anything to do with them. Nope, we're not doing this. He's like, you are not dropping them off. I don't want them. I go, I don't want them either. And so now we're fighting about who wants these stupid TVs.
Yeah.
And finally, after about a week of us taking some, again, calming down, letting the emotions settle, I said, okay, here's the thing. My kids are not getting 45-inch TVs. They're not. I go, if you're not going to return them, because you said you're not going to return them, I go, I'll buy them. I will buy them from you. I need a new TV in my room. My room's 10 years old, my TV in there. I go, I will buy them there. I'll put one there, and then I'll put one, like, I don't know, in the basement. I'm like, I will buy them from you, and then we can get them a regular size TV. He's like, deal. So I now have the two fucking 45-inch TVs. One's already hanging in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And the other one's in the basement.
Did Santa bring them, or did you guys get them for him?
He bought them. Like, he then bought regular size TVs, and then we had our Christmas exchange.
Oh, could have been avoided if you'd just talked about it in the first place, buddy.
Yeah. Or, yeah. Again, I could have been more clear when I said small. I guess I could have also done my homework and said, here's what I'm thinking for their room. You know, if I were Santa, here's what I would think for their room. And I could have been more clear, and he could have asked, like, hey, there's two options here at the store. Which one makes more sense? So yeah, neither
it seemed like there was more discussion that needed to be had, because you weren't on board with him doing it. You wanted Santa, so it's like there probably should have been a little talk after that.
Oh, and then when we were fighting over it, he goes, this is not your decision.
I don't know a lot about Jess, but I know that don't say that to her. I mean, don't say that to anybody. That's rude in general.
I'm pretty sure he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson. So, yeah. It was pretty intense there all over TVs. But like I said, there were a couple other things that led up to the straw that broke the camel's back.
Sure. Yeah. As there always is.
Yes, there always is. And even during like our big conversation, he was frustrated with me on certain things. I was frustrated with him on certain things. And we just never talked about it because, well, I did. I totally talked about it. Again, you know me.
Yep.
I do not back down from talking about hard conversations. So I totally talked about it. But he never did, because he's never had healthy conflict before.
Sure.
He doesn't know what that means. He doesn't know that you can express your feelings, express your emotions, your hurt, your sad, your anger, and still have somebody love you, and still have somebody listen to you, and still have somebody say, okay, I understand, but like do it in a calm way. He's never done that before. Yeah. So yeah, it was hard for him to understand that concept. And
most people don't, especially our age or a little bit older, like, because that's just not how it was. Like, half the people that have mental health issues, like, they would be in asylums if they grew up in like the 50s. I mean, they were.
They were.
Women were put there for postpartum. Like, things are so different now.
Yeah. And I've gone through so much growth over the past 3 years and 5 years.
Yeah.
That one of the things that I told him is a requirement for my significant other or my partner is someone who's able to have healthy conflict. Like, I don't want the yelling and the screaming. And yes, we can get frustrated. I totally get that. But don't swear at me. Don't say mean things to me. Don't like break up with me every 2 minutes. And I'm not saying he does any of this, but like that's the negative conflict that he's used to.
Right.
You know? And he didn't do, well, he did one of them. He did break up with me. He broke up with me because I told him that I needed a break. Like, we need a break. We just need time away. We need time to calm down. We need time to just think. And within an hour, he goes, I don't do breaks. I am breaking up with you.
Okay. All I want to ask now is, were Ross and Rachel on a break?
Oh!
I feel like that's exactly what happened. Like, she's like, we need to take a break, meaning like we need some space. And he was like, new lady, let's do it.
Yeah. And maybe, again, like, maybe that's what he was thinking, was like his definition of a break was like, we can go off and do whatever we wanted. And I even clarified, I go, I do not want to be with anyone else. I am not going to talk to anyone else. I go, when I say break, I am still your girlfriend. We are still together, but we just need time apart, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yep.
But he didn't understand that concept. Like, that was so new to him. So I don't know, but that's a really good question. Do people go on breaks? Like, even in a marriage, I feel like I needed a break from my ex-husband when we were even happy. I was like, oh my God, I need a break from you. Girlfriends, let's go on a little trip. You know what I mean? There's breaks from your partner in a marriage too. And you don't call them breaks, but you take time away from each other.
Yep. It's any relationship, even parents and kids. Like,
yes, even parents and kids.
Yeah. All the time is typically bad unless you're both like super codependent or something.
Yeah.
But I think that's bad too.
Oh my God, me and my daughter are codependent on each other. It's horrible. She's completely codependent on me, and I need help.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So that's the TV story. But in honesty, it was actually a great thing that took our relationship to the next level.
Yeah.
Because we did have a breakdown, and we were able to build it back up in like a healthy, communicative manner. And so after that, it seriously has been an amazing transformation in how we communicate and how we talk and how we think about things. And like, he openly now talks when he's frustrated with me.
Yeah.
He goes, God, you're so argumentative. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Like, don't make me prove your point. Get out of here.
My mom used to do that all the time too. You're so argumentative, Barb. No, I'm not. And I actually did that on purpose, and I giggled afterwards because I reminded myself of my mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I know I'm argumentative. I get it from my mom. So
yeah, it's like, I don't know, I've always thought that when you get married, you're being committed to being committed. It's less like you're committing to that person. I mean, you are but you're making a commitment to like do the work, and the work is work, and nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about how much work it is.
It's when both parties are putting in the work, it's an equal level of effort.
Yeah,
and it doesn't seem as hard. Yeah, it's easier. But when one person's putting in the work more than the other person, that's when the hard part comes in. It's like, oh my God, this is so hard. Oh my God, I'm banging my head against the wall all the time. But it shouldn't be that hard. So like, when it shouldn't be that hard, because if you're both putting into the work, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. It's like any relationship, right? Like what the big thing right now and during the pandemic is to kind of see who your friends are, but not I don't know. It's funny to me because it's like all these people are like, well, I stopped asking because I felt like I was always asking, and then like now we don't hang out. And I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean that like it was bad.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that shouldn't be like the only litmus test for whether or not that was a valid relationship. I just like to look at like what would change, like if I didn't hang out with them, what would change, and how would my life be not as good.
Yep. And
So-
do you have any examples of a relationship where your life hasn't changed? Like they were great, but I don't talk to them and my life is still great.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. I that's what I was trying to get at. Is I kind of feel like a lot of relationships or friendships are like that.
Yeah. And I had one where we were just like, yeah, I think we're just done being friends. Like it was just like amicable and like.
Did you talk about it? Were you broken up with?
No, we like we did, and I think it was I think it was over text message, this like conversation, and I think they were just like, something had happened. There was like a group of us that were hanging out, and something had happened, and they got mad at a bunch of us, and so they had messaged me, and they're like, yeah, like the situation sucks. We can still hang out if you want to. And I'm like, okay, like sounds good. And then I just like never reached out, and that was it.
Yep, exactly.
We had fun for the few years that we were friends, and
if you see them out in public, you will go say, hi, how are you? Nice seeing you. What's new? Like you'll still make it a point to say hi to them, or would you not?
I've never seen this person out in public.
Okay, but
So,
if you
I don't
did,
know.
hypothetically speaking, if you did, would you go up to them and say hi? Or would you ignore it, like try to avoid them and walk away?
No, I don't know. There's the ignoring, that's only like reserved for special cases. I don't typically do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to say hi to them. So like, yeah. I mean, if we see him somewhere, yes, it's like we can just pick up where we left off and stuff. We had an event that we went to, and we hadn't seen some of the people there for like 10 years. And I was like, I was like, oh yeah, we just chatted like we had, and then that's it. We probably never see him again.
Yep. And that's okay. That is completely okay. Like, I don't know why I think of this, and I've been thinking about this a lot more lately because I'm dealing with some like health issues. Like if I die tomorrow, who would all be there? And it wouldn't be the ones that I would just have those hallway conversations with. It would be the ones who I have the legitimate relationships where they know my family and I know their family. Like that, those are the ones who I want to spend more time putting energy with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a play date tomorrow with one of my friends who I haven't talked to since like May of last year.
It's a play date for like you? Or is it like a little kid play date?
That sounded really funny. I didn't even think about that. It's a play date for kids. So my girls and her girls are gonna hang out. And we used to hang out almost every single day during COVID. She was a part of my bubble. And she was there for me when I was going through my divorce and blah, blah, blah. Well, back in May of last year, she was talking about going through a divorce with her husband. And I was telling her, like, what to kind of expect. And I supported her, though. Like, yeah, you need to do what's right for you and blah, blah, blah. We messaged throughout the summer. Can the girls come over? Can the girls do this? Can you guys hang out for dinner? And it was always a no. no, we can't. No, we can't. No, we can't. And I was the only one who reached out to her. Hey, can we come over? Hey, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. Well, I don't know, a couple months ago, I found out that they got a divorce.
Mm.
And she never called me, never told me. I considered her a super close friend. But kind of like, to your point, like, what happens if I stop? Would they reach back out to me? And she never did. She never
Yeah.
reached out to me. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm hurt. But then, yet again, a couple days ago, I reached out to her and said, hey, do your kids want to do a play date with my kids? So we're doing it tomorrow. And I haven't
Nice.
talked to her since May of last year.
I mean, that's okay. Like I had people that, like after the pandemic started, I hadn't talked to, and it was like 2 years. And I'm like, I want to hang out with this person. So I just like messaged them, and I'm like, sorry, it's been a while, 2 years. I'm like, you want to do something?
Want to hang
And
out?
most of them were like, yeah, let's get together, type deal. So.
And like, I have a friend who I'm going out with in a week. Her and I have known each other since high school. And she's the only one I actually connect with still from high school. And she always reaches out to me. Now that we're talking about this, she always reaches out every couple months. Hey, it's been a while. How are you? And I don't reach out to her. I feel horrible now. Now that I'm thinking about it.
No, see, and that's why I mean, like, I don't think that's a good, like, that's not a good benchmark. If you feel like it's draining on you, like, to reach out to somebody or you're not getting back, like, for sure. But like, just because they don't reach out doesn't mean anything. I'm friends with a lot of people that can't make plans for some reason. I don't know. Like, and it's so much work to hang out with them. It's really funny.
Yeah. No, there are some people like that. You have to like schedule it weeks out, and then usually it gets rescheduled.
Yep.
Yep. And then after you reschedule it like 2 or 3 times, then you just stop. You're just like, okay, I'm done rescheduling this. We're just not gonna hang out. We're done.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily hold it against anybody if they don't reach out. There isn't anything wrong with that. Because like, yeah, if you keep reaching out, you find value, go for it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some people might not. And so like, I don't think you should feel bad because this person clearly likes hanging out with you, and it sounds like, you do get together with them on a regular basis when they reach out.
Absolutely.
And so they're probably just like, yeah, she is just bad at planning stuff. Like, I'll just keep reaching out every few months.
What was it, me, you, and Bunda? I don't like it. Sorry, let me finish my thought process. Was it us 3 who were talking about how I don't like it when people say, yeah, let's hang out, and then just drops it. And so every time someone tells me, hey, let's hang out, I respond with a date, like multiple dates. Like, yeah, I agree. Let's hang out. I'm available on Tuesday and Sunday and Friday. Do any of those work for you? And sometimes I hear crickets.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's like, oh, shit. She really wants to hang out. But then sometimes it's like, yeah, let's hang out. And it's fun. Like, it's not effort. It's like yeah, let's do this. That sounds like fun. So I don't like it when people say, hey, let's hang out. Yeah, let's actually do something.
No, I do that a lot. And the people that I'm thinking of, like, I attribute that to like they are more introverted, and so it's socially draining on them to even plan something, and then the anxiety that goes along with it. So
well, then don't say let's hang out. Just be like, I miss you. I hope you're doing well. Or nice chatting.
Yeah.
Don't be fake and say let's hang out.
I don't know that it's fake. I mean, because not everybody's like, right? Like, they're not all like you where they want to plan like right away. So they may be genuine and like, let's hang out, but like their process is like, let's hang out, and then I wait we'll talk again in like a week or two, but they don't say anything, right? They don't say what their process is. They're just like, we should hang out. And you're like, yeah, here we go. Let's plan right now. And that's not how they wanted to do it. So I only say that because I have a friend that's like that too.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, we should hang out in the next couple of weeks. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I used to like respond like right away with like, here we go. But like I learned like I saw the pattern with like, that's not the way they wanted to do it. So.
But then do you ever end up hanging out with them?
Oh yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah. It's not as often, which is, I mean, just because as you get older and everybody has kids and stuff, it's super busy and schedules are pretty crazy. So
yeah.
But yeah, we do get together on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's like expectations. Like Steve likes to talk about.
I have high expectations of everybody around me, and even higher expectations of myself.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's hard to be my friend. Maybe I have to start asking people that question. Is it hard to be my friend?
I don't know how they would answer that.
I know. How would you answer? Okay, Ethan. You're going to be the first one I ask. Is it hard to be my friend?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And I believe you. Like, you would tell me.
Yeah.
Is it hard to work with me? Ooh.
No, I don't think it's hard to work with you. Because it's just like it's working with anybody.
Yeah.
And so like we hadn't worked like closely together, so there's no information about anything about how anything was going to work or expectations. So
yeah,
that's just, you got to learn all that.
Yep. Okay, well that's good. Sometimes I feel like I'm hard to work with. Again, I'm argumentative. I get it. Now that I think about it, my mom always was told by Grandma and Grandpa that she's argumentative. Stop arguing, Barbara, for the sake of arguing. That's all you do.
Yeah.
And I would get so mad at her. And now I do it. Damn it.
I mean, there's not a lot worth arguing about, I don't think. To me, it's like discussions to come to an understanding type deal. So it's less like trying to argue your point of view and more like trying to understand their point of view and whether or not you can, support that type deal.
There are some times, though, where I argue my point of view. I argue just to argue. Like, there are times where I don't even believe what I'm arguing about. But I know somebody over here has that thought process, and so I'm arguing for them.
That's messed up.
Right? I think it's because I've been a project leader for so long that a lot of times, I'm the voice of the project team. A lot of times, developers don't speak up. And they're so quiet that they need someone to speak up for them. Sometimes I have just project team members who don't have that voice, that I have learned to hear and empathize so much with them that it becomes my own belief and it becomes me speaking it. And really, it's just them over there. And I'm arguing for them. I'm not even arguing for me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I could have been a really good lawyer.
Yeah.
That's kind of what lawyer.
I don't know. Like, I've watched some lawyer stuff. I don't think I could. Like, that and politics, like...
Oh, I hate politics.
That's their performances, their shows now. Like...
Yeah.
And so, like, you can't... None of them take that stuff personally. You cannot take that stuff personally in both those professions. So.
That's true. Okay, so now I couldn't be a lawyer. I'm really good at projects. Sometimes I am wrong, though. There are times where, like, I've worked with, let's pretend you and I know you so well, and something comes up over here, and I say, no, Ethan would not do that. He would never agree to that. And I am standing up for you. I haven't even talked to you. I'm like, nope, not gonna happen. And then they're like, Jess, let's just ask Ethan. I'm like, fine. I already know what he's going to say. And then they ask you, and then you say the opposite of what I was going to
Yeah.
say. And you're like, fuck, why did I do that? I'm not him. Why am I speaking for him? I'm standing up for you. I'm sticking up for you. But yeah, you're right. We should have just asked Ethan.
Yeah.
I do that every so often. God, why am I finding so many flaws in myself tonight?
I think that's like the fixing thing, I think, or protecting, that's like a trauma response, I believe.
A trauma response, finding flaws in yourself?
No, standing up for other people.
Oh.
Or fixing people, right?
Yes.
Like the protector, you want to be the protector. So I'm assuming, if I had to take a wild guess based on what we've talked about, because we haven't talked a lot about like your experience from like a project perspective, like, or gone in depth or anything. So this is a guess that you do put yourself in the position of defense of the team, which is like kind of the role that we go into, but you take that defensive stance for the team like really personally, to the point where you will basically subvert your own needs and raise the team's needs above yours.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I die on the hill for them. I literally die. Like, I've been told, Jess, stop dying on the hill.
Yeah.
I'm like, but no. Multiple times I've been told that. I do. I don't know. That's like a double-edged sword. That's my strength, and that's my weakness.
Yeah, trauma response too.
What's the trauma response? What did I go through as a child that...
There's probably somebody else that was close to you that you tried to protect when you were a kid. Maybe it is just yourself that you were trying to protect, and so you created, maybe you did have like, you're trying to protect your inner child or something, and generated some kind of older, more mature persona to protect yourself. I am just speculating. I don't know if that's a thing or not.
Oh, I love that though. That was actually really deep. And I'm like thinking back as a child. So as a child, I had to be the adult.
Yeah.
So as a child, my mom, I don't know how to say this without making her sound bad, because my mom...
no, it's okay. Hey man, parents can be monsters. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
I mean, it's really screwed up, but like we need to call it. Like, we can't just pretend like these people in that generation were the greatest thing. Some of them were just douchebags.
Yeah. And my mom was low IQ. She didn't know how to self-regulate her emotions. She didn't know how to take care of herself.
Yeah.
And she was a single parent. So she depended on me as a 5-year-old to learn how to navigate a map system to get her places. And so as like, I would be so young and I would have to create a adult version of myself or a male version of myself. I had to become the masculine in the energy between her and I to calm her down, to give her the love that she needs and the strength that she needs, that masculine side.
Yeah.
And so I not only had to be an adult, but I had to be a masculine adult in the relationship with her. So I did create an older version of myself growing up. And I also had to protect her.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It probably is just all out of protecting her.
Yeah, I had to be her advocate for tons of medical issues. I had to speak for her, pretty much. Yeah. She couldn't speak for herself. So yeah, it is a trauma response.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Unfortunately, it is, yes.
Everything's a fucking trauma response.
Basically, yeah.
Everything is. How we are as adults are trauma responses for when we were children.
We are the sum of our experiences.
Everything, even trauma responses when we're in our 20s, even trauma responses when we're in our 30s. but like how you form and like major aspects of your personality and who you are happen more in like the childhood, like the ages, 2 to 18, 19. A lot, the majority of who you are is formed during that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very good observation. Thank you for
So moral of the story is stop doing that and just take care of yourself.
Well, fuck, I do, because I'm having some like health issues that is scaring the shit out of me right now, and I'm trying really hard not to, but I am advocating for myself and I am speaking up and I'm catching it early. I'm not ignoring signs, and so like I'm doing it, but yeah.
It's difficult to do too, because it's a big shift in the way that you've been operating forever in life. So it's not like you can just flip a switch and do something different.
Yeah. Well, and you always think, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And then every so often you're like, fuck, I'm not okay. There's something wrong.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's nothing serious. And you get answers. If you haven't had answers, you get some. That's always the worst, is when you don't know and you got to find out what it is. And heaven forbid it's something that nobody has experience with. That's always a pain. Like, we knew with our middle child that something was off, but the doctors didn't have experience. And then we got connected with a doctor that had experience, and the first thing out of his mouth was, has anyone talked to you about this before we diagnose what you think the problem is? And we're like, no, what is that? And yeah.
I can't imagine so many people in the world have health problems. And like you said, they don't have answers.
Yep.
And living in that limbo with all that ambiguity, all that gray, like it ages you just living in that. And like your nervous system, you live in fight or flight constantly.
Yeah. Is it like POTS is one that's interesting to me because it's got the most bizarre symptoms, and they basically named it and they have no idea what it is or why it happens. Like, they don't know. And as far as I know, I haven't read up too much on it, but they don't know anything about it. And there's just like a handful of symptoms.
What is
that?
Like,
I can't remember what it stands for. Let's see here.
I didn't know. I need to look. Syndrome, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Yeah, it's like a thing when you're like laying down or sitting, and then you stand up and your heart rate goes berserk, and then you like pass out.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I see that. Interesting. Didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, it's newish.
Reduced blood volume that occurs when standing up. This happens to me all the time. No, I'm not kidding. You never have it where you lay down and you stand up and you like have to sit right back down, and you almost, and it has nothing to do with my heart rate. It's just that.
No, I can count on one hand the number of times that's happened to me in my life.
Oh God. Yeah, I have to lay down again. Symptoms include lightheadedness, fainting, rapid heartbeat, which are relieved by laying down again. Seriously, that happens to me all the time.
As far as I don't know. Yeah, it's like a women thing.
Yeah,
specifically,
women,
it's
ages 15 to 50.
Yeah.